Okay, I'm reloaded.
Pass slower and smaller defenders.
7-4 Memphis.
Know what kind of player he is and how he likes to push the basketball up the court.
Another three. Opening quarter. 3 ball is on.
Laravia did block that shot.
Comes back, puts up a 3 to throw. From behind, Memphis pushes it into the front court. Williams stands and just posts. Side, throw out, wide open. Williams toes it, poses, and Williams gives it up. 3 all for Memphis. And that's why they were number 2 and scoring.
What's going on, NBA fanatics? This is your friendly neighborhood Memphis Grizzly homer, Memphis X, and I talk hoops. Today, we are going to talk about that sizzling shooting performance that the Summer League team for the Memphis Grizzlies put on. But first, every hero needs their theme music.
KeyAno. Grizz gang, go hard. Yeah. Baddest in the game, we be on one. I talk hoops, so secure. All up on the court, but we gon' score. Memphis bringing heat straight from Tennessee. Demo respect and let's go.
Well, to say the least, it was good to have the Grizzlies back in some form yesterday. I really enjoyed the Summer League game. And for a Summer League game, it was pretty entertaining. It's pretty well played, and it might have something to do with so many NBA players being in the game as far as on both squads. Wasn't a real lot of scrubs in the game or a lot of people that have no chance of ever making the NBA roster or who have never made an NBA roster. So the one thing, of course, you could tell by the thumbnail and the title of this video, the one thing that stood out for the Grizzlies was the shooting of the new guys. I mean, if you take out Tremont Waters and Dakota Mathias, they went a total of 3 for 5 from three-point land. You still have 12 for 25 from 3. And it was big. It was good to see, and you could start to see the vision of the Grizzlies front office starting to take place as they slowly get all the kind of players that they want on the team in the system that Coach Taylor Jenkins wants. And so we're going to talk about each player for a little bit, especially about the players that's going to make the main roster or going to be two ways. First, we're going to start with Zaire Williams. Just as we suspected, just as the Grizzlies said, they put him on the ball a lot. They even had him playing point guard, basically, with very big lineups in there. Lineups where there was no Kennedy Chandler or Tremont Waters on the floor. So he was effectively the point guard. And I will say his ball handling left a lot to be desired. He is not a point guard, and that's what people are focusing on. They're trying to say his ball handling was shaky. His ball handling is shaky for a point guard. He is a wing. He is a shooting guard, small forward. He can take people off the dribble limitedly. You got to think of it like he's a better version of Duncan Robinson, a more dynamic version of Duncan Robinson. And they're trying to expand his game. This is step one. This is not the end product. This is step one. We are at the beginning of the transformation of his game. They are trying to make him a legitimate on-ball scorer, and he's a young guy, and he has years of development in front of him. Everything is not going to look like Desmond Bane looked last summer. So you have to have some patience. Now, the things that did stand out was his three-point shot when left open, bam, cold-blooded. He was able to hit him. He went 3 for 6 from three-point land, 50%, 5 for 13 overall, which isn't that good. But he did have 8 assists because just like last year during the season, he is able to find people who are cutting off of him and people who are moving. And this is what you're seeing the beauty of the Grizzlies system is in their draft philosophy and the players that they bring in, smart, intelligent players who make good plays, who stay moving and finish plays and keep the ball moving. And it even trickles down to Summer League. So he had 8 assists on only 3 turnovers. And this is for a guy who last year could barely dribble down the court. And this summer they have him playing effectively point guard, and he had 8 assists to only 3 turnovers. Now, it looked shaky and it didn't look good, but you got to remember we are at step 1. So that was very encouraging for me to see. I really did like what I saw out of Zaire Williams in his first Summer League game. And we don't know how many of these he's going to play. I don't expect he's going to play too many of them, and they're going to give the rookies more of a chance to shine the rest of the summer. This is Memphis X with iTalkHoops. While you're here, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications so you will be alerted to all the new videos I have coming up during this NBA offseason. We have a goal on this channel to get to 1,000 subscribers before the new season starts, and I'm going to need your help to get there. Thank you. The next returner we had was Xavier Tillman. He had team high 16 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, no turnovers, 6 for 11 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3-point line, and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He had a good game. It wasn't particularly impressive as far as somebody who's in their 3rd year, who was an older draftee and is in their 3rd year in the NBA. But he didn't look bad. He looked pretty good. So, he looked like we expected X to look in these games. Not as dominant as I would have liked, but he played pretty well. The other returnee is Santi Aldama. And I'm going to tell you, I was happy to see it. Santi Aldama was making shots. 2 of 3 from 3-point line, 5 of 9 overall, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 13 points total. He was making shots. His first shot was an air ball. He airballed a 3. He hit his next 2 3-pointers, and it's good to see that he was making shots because, like I told you in the preview, that is the one thing I wanted to see him do. I'm not expecting players to get from A to Z in the span of one season and a summer league. It's going to take – these guys are young guys. They're 21, 22, 23 years old. They're going to have to develop over 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3 seasons. And it's good to see Santi Aldama look like a player that you can stick in the game, somebody who's your 10th, 11th, maybe 12th man, that if he gets in the game when you have injuries, he can play 5, 10 minutes and he won't kill you. Now let's get to the rookies. Jake LaRavia, pick number 19, looked wonderful. I'm not going to lie. I'm real excited about him. His shot looked butter. His scouting report was kind of on. A little shaky with the defense, especially against quicker guys, and a little shaky with his shot off movement. But as the Grizzlies work with him, as he gets stronger and they work on his balance as far as taking shots off movement, I think he's going to be a very excellent movement shooter eventually. But right now, as a catch and shoot guy, he is lights out. When he got time to set his feet and get an open shot, and you guys know the open shots that Ja Morant and Tyus Jones gets guys and how they hit the guys in rhythm, it's going to be a whole different ball game with having him and Bane out there spacing the floor. It's going to be crazy. David Roddy had a rough game, 1 for 6 from the floor. He had 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 2 turnovers. It's going to take him some time to get used to dealing with the length of the NBA, even in the summer league. And I expect that as the summer goes on, he's going to learn how to get his shot off among bigger players, and he's going to look a lot better by the end of summer league. As long as his conditioning holds up, he will look a lot better at the end of Summer League. So, guys, be patient with David Roddy. He's going to be a good player. Next, we have our homeboy, Kennedy Chandler, who started off shaky a little bit, but in the second half, he really found himself, ended up with 8 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 3 blocks, 3 turnovers, but he had the game-winning stop on Jaden Springer, and he looked real good defensively. And I told you guys in the preview that was his calling card, and the thing that you wanted to see was he going to be able to transfer that defensive ability against bigger, stronger, faster opponents, and it looks like it's going to transfer, at least on this level. And I expect that he's going to be a good backup point guard, guy that can come in and change the pace of a game. You know, when you're in the middle of the season and your team, you know, you're going through those lulls like you do in an 82-game season. He's a guy that's going to come in, change the energy of games, and, you know, really flip some games later on in his career. And I'm really excited to see that. If he becomes even a league average 3-point shooter, he is going to be an excellent player. Next, Vince Williams. And Vince Williams is one of those guys that I don't know how to say it. He's not athletic. He's not quick, but he looks like he's athletic and quick enough on the court to do whatever he needs to do on the court. And the shot looked great off movement, catch and shoot. It looked great. 3 for 4 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3-point line, 4 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 2 blocks. And if you guys notice, you remember how we were talking about the formula that the Grizzlies had for the players that they were going to draft, about the doing stuff that's outside of scoring, and you see all these rookies had at least 2 stocks. Every last one of them had at least 2 stocks. Even David Roddy had 2 steals. It's not a coincidence. This is intentional. So I really, 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 really was impressed with Vince Williams. And he's a guy that I think is going to earn, like I said before, he's going to earn a real NBA contract before this season's over with. And I think he's going to be a guy that's going to get real playoff minutes for the Grizzlies. I really like his game. Then we had Kenny Lofton Jr., who was 4 for 5 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3-point line, 1 for 1 from the free throw line. Looked pretty good, but we already know the issues with Kenny Lofton Jr., and they're not going to be solved immediately in Summer League. He needs a year-long NBA conditioning program. He needs to drop some weight and gain some athleticism because the talent is there. If you watch him play, you can see that the talent is there, and there's no mistaking that. The issue is going to be, is he going to be able to get athletic enough to carve out space and rebound? And he's going to get athletic enough to be quick enough to defend at an NBA level. So he's got some work to do, but most of his work is going to be done in as far as conditioning, the weight room, getting slimmer, getting his build down. If he can get his build down to that Zach Randolph build where he had the small legs, the strong upper body, and was able to carve out space, but still had the quick feet, able to take people off the dribble and move his feet just well enough to be a good, decent defensive player and rebound for his position. He's got a future in the NBA, at least as a backup. So I like it. And I'm just going to say a little bit about the other guys, Tremont Waters and Dakota Mathias. I don't know. Something about me, Dakota Mathias will always have a place for me because he is a deadly shooter. So he's going to be always a guy that I hope that can always find his niche in this league somehow, some way. He's 26 years old, so I guess time is probably running out. But I like him because he is a deadly shooter. If he was 6'6" instead of 6'4", he would probably have a place in this league. But he's a guy that I'm rooting for, and I hope he gets a chance to get in games and make shots because he can find a team where he can spot up and people can cover for him defensively, then I think he can have a place in this league as a valuable three-point shooter. It's, that's the difference between somebody like him and Duncan Robinson. He's 6'4", Duncan Robinson is 6'7", 6'8", and that's basically the difference between the two. Size matters in the NBA. And, of course, Trayvon Waters, get to the basket anytime he wants, look good, 3 assists, 6 points. He looked good, but like I said, he's 5'10", so there's only so much you can do, even though he's immensely talented. So there's another game tonight, 6 o'clock Central Time. We got another game tonight. We're going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who has the guy, Chet Holmgren, who looked fucking fantastic last night. So it's going to be a good game. I don't know who's going to play tonight. You don't know if Zaire is going to play. Don't know if Xavier is going to play. You never know. We do know that Shaq Buchanan is not going to play because Shaq Buchanan got a contract in Israel. So congratulations to Shaq. Hopefully that bank account's getting ran up a little bit. He's making him some good money. Hopefully he can find his way back to the NBA either this season or in a few seasons. But good luck to Shaq Buchanan. And like I said, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell for notifications, and give me a like if you can, and share this with other NBA fans around the internet.